Hello and welcome to another episode of Doctors and Dragons, a real play D&D podcast featuring doctors battling against the dragons of Stormwreck Isle. My name is CJ, I am your DM for this evening, and we have another star-studded cast of Doctor Hunting Dragons, or Dragon Hunting Doctors. I never know. Say hi, Dragon Hunting Doctors.
Hi, Dragon Hunting
Hello.
Doctors.
Hello.
Hello.
So before we begin, we have a little bit of promo. We have a one-shot coming out. It will be out by the time this drops. For Curse of Strahd, our very own Emma has run a one-shot called Get In, Get Strahd, Get Out, ? I absolutely loved editing and watching this. This was hilarious. The characters will be new to you, but Emma runs a magnificent game. So keep an eye out for that on our YouTube or Apple podcasts. And that's really it, recap-wise. So, before we kick into it, I'd like to continue to get to know our dragon hunting doctors. So, can you tell me one travel hack that either you or your character has? Emma, please start us off.
Always pack salt and string. Salt, very useful. Cleanses wounds, good for food. You can use it as a spell component, should that be a bag. And string, emergency repairs, setting traps, makeshift rosary. You can use it for anything. Salt and string. If you're traveling, that's what you need.
And I'm not sure if that applies to you or your character, but I think prevalent advice nonetheless. Borgrim.
You can choose.
If Follow Thamp Gedam rates the hotel that you're going to be staying at as not having any rats, make sure you pack an extra sword because the rats will be huge and they will carry the plague.
And it's good to be health-minded, always, about the plague. I think we can never be too careful these days. Tristan.
I think Kurgan would say that in the absence of appropriate funds when traveling, one can always resort to highway robbery in order to obtain a suitable vehicle or travel accessory. Just remember to pack a sword.
And I think with so many people struggling with car loan debt, that's not a bad piece of advice to offer. Lucci, tell us if you have a travel hack.
I think this would apply for both myself and Aisling. Always bring some waterproof snacks. You never know when you'll be too close to water.
It's always good to have a snack. You cannot argue with that. So, with that, I think it's time for us to kick off with tonight's episode of Doctors and Dragons.
Roll the dice, see the fate. Monsters lurking at the gate. Heroes rise in the night. Doctors wielding magic might. Doctors and dragons in the fray. Healing wolves saving the day. Epic quest, dangerous call. Stand as one, we won't fall.
Last, we left our heroes. Our heroes are stuck on Stormwreck Isle. A undead dragon haunts the waters around this island, making it impossible to leave after their boat was destroyed and they were left trapped on the island. They have traveled to multiple sites around the island, to the mysterious Seagrow Caves, where they encountered a fire elemental and an unusual source of fire and fumes. They traveled to the wreck of the Compass Rose, a shipwreck, and found harpies that had presumably been luring sailors to crash on the island. It was there in the Compass Rose that they found a talisman of Orcus. This talisman was created by a sailor's beloved who had died and seemed to be the source of the undead on the island. Lenora picked up the talisman and is safeguarding it. And as we find our heroes, Tristan picked up the other half of a crystal key, which pointed him towards the observatory, the one place on that map that they have not yet seen. And that is where we find our heroes returning from the wreck of the Compass Rose. They have yet to fully uncover Stormwreck Isle's secrets, but so much could happen this episode, and I'm so excited to see what we get up to. Adventurers, the quest is yours.
Kurgan is practically buzzing on the boat, being like, "We've got to go to the observatory. We've got to go now. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, someone grab those oars and let's start rowing. I'll do it." He grabs the oars and starts like rowing, and everyone sees that he's just not built for rowing. He's just too thin. But he's like valiantly trying and getting the boat nowhere. Come on, maybe I'll just do 1 at a time. Stop going around in a circle.
Aisling jumps in to help because she thinks like stars, observatory, sounds like a great plan to you. Perhaps she can, get some insight from the ancestors. Let's go to the observatory.
We start making very slow progress with our 2 weakest characters. Right.
Please help. Let's go to the observatory. Very interesting though.
Fulcrum
what
grumbles,
is that?
takes up his gauntlets, and offers to take up the oars. Presumably, he's the most athletic of the people who are paying attention at the moment. Make an athletics
Probably.
check.
I think you're probably like as strong as me and Aisling are combined.
Lenora would help, particularly if this boat is not moving quickly. Being on the sea for any length of time in these parts has proved to be generally dangerous. Drifting around in circles off the coast of a shipwreck with harpies is a bad idea.
Well, not to mention that we're probably sailing right over to zombie corpses right now, with the source of their power held in your pocket. So, yeah, I agree. It's bad. But also, observatory, come on, guys. So cool. Giant beam of light went straight to it. I'm so excited.
If you can make the zombies swim, maybe they can propel our boat quicker there. Can you command them with that rod?
Lenora thinks that's a reasonable suggestion. So gets the talisman and stands sort of on the back of the boat, so Titanic style, but off the back of the boat, and just sort of waves it over the edge in a sort of here zombie kind of way. Yeah, we'll give that a whirl. That sounds like an excellent plan.
No roll needed. You do not notice a zombie immediately, but you do, after a few minutes, clock a zombie sort of coming towards you. And you notice another one being drawn from another vector, and it does seem to be attracting them at a higher prevalence than the rate you had seen them coming before. You see them swimming around what looks like the bones of an ancient dragon. So the reef or the ancient dragon bones, you're still not sure as you swim, as you row past it. You can attempt to use the zombies to propel yourself. Are you propelling yourself back towards Dragon Rest for a long rest, or are you guys going straight to the observatory by sea? You remember that the talisman, you had the option to either try and return it to the grave of the sailor's lover, or other things being all they are, you could just smash it, I suppose.
We should probably go back to the grave.
Kirkin's doing interpretive sort of mine. Lenora's a cleric, so she would always take a long rest if there's a long rest on the option, but will generally try and direct zombies to take us wherever it is you want to go.
I was just saying that the out of character, the sensible thing to do is take a long rest, but the in character, no, I just want to get there.
Then we're heading for the observatory, if that's where we've been told we're going. And my current plan is to try and attract zombies, and then we need to lash them to the boat, and then we need to turn undead.
Okay.
So I'll attract them.
What role would that be?
You attach them, and then we can turn undead and get them to flee, and use them like a tug.
Okay. What do you want to roll? Sleight of hand. What do you want to roll for this? Pitch me something, Emma.
Well, what should we roll? Who knows? It's like almost animal handling, isn't it? It's like
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was
Tethering.
wondering that. And if
tethering something to a ship is kind of animal handling, I think. Can I have animal handling for using zombies?
sure,
as a
roll
steam?
animal handling.
I haven't got efficiency in animal.
Aisling,
Give up.
you're a druid. You can roll animal handling too if you wish to assist.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I do animals.
Zombie animals.
Yeah, I know. I was a bit confused about that one. Usually they're live and 4 legs, but sure, we'll give it a go. How do I roll? Do I throw the dice? How do I
Just hit the plus at the end of the row.
pass at the end of the row? That's the worst thing. Oh, I get a 5. That doesn't sound very
I
good.
got 14.
Okay, with a 14 and 5, that's a decent number, Emma. You're able to lash 2 sort of human zombies to the front. It's a rough construction, but it's functional. Ashling with a 5, you encounter what looks like a small sea drake, so a tiny sea drake zombie. So it's like a little tiny dragon baby kind of thing, and it sort of snaps at you, and you take 1 point of damage, and it gets away.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, rude. But yes, you speed up the travel towards the Clifftop Observatory. Do you guys want to pull a long rest on the way there? I'm not sure how... You didn't take much damage from the harpies, but if you wanted to take a short rest, not a long rest, you could on the way to the observatory. It'll be about 3 hours with the tide as it is right now. Tell you what. Ashton, can you just roll a d20 for me? I just want to see what time of day it is. I can't remember.
Did I do that? Actually. Oh, hang on.
I can roll too.
Oh, hang on. No, there we are. D20. Yep. To everyone roll? To everyone.
Yeah.
Right. It is
10. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. So you guys can carry on. It'll take you about 3 hours towards the Clifftop Observatory. If anyone would like to do anything, let me know. If anyone would like to have a nap or anything, it's fine.
I mean, I'd have a short rest at the very least.
Yeah, I feel like surely, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, there's not going to be much in the observatory until 4. So let's take a, perhaps even a long rest, really.
Well, I don't think taking a long rest in the boat is sensible. I think we should plan one. We got zombies underneath the water.
Do we have some, is it the cemetery we need to get back to? Or we need to return the talisman?
I think
so.
so.
I'm so confused. Sorry.
So you could theoretically return the talisman to the grave. You'd have to find out where that grave is on the island. Lenora has mechanized the talisman to an extent, so perhaps it would be useful to use it to get to the observatory. But you would need to find out where the grave is on the island, and you would probably have to go back to Dragon's Rest to do that. You could just tromp over the island, but it's reasonably big. But if you guys want to take a short rest on the boat ride, and just maybe make a survival check on the way there, but you've been traveling pretty well in the boat.
Boats on whether we do anything special or just head straight there.
But these 2 zombies harnessed, we said we were going to the observatory. Currently, I'm concentrating on trying to steer a ship with a zombie propeller. If you wish to rest, feel free. You were not rowing particularly effectively anyway.
Hey, I did my best. All right. I'm going to take it in.
Okay. As you guys are traveling, Aisling, when they were in the caves at Seagrow Caves, each of them saw a vision of destruction from their past. When Aisling saw the pattern of destruction, so on the cave wall there were these mad fractals that evoked images of destruction and earthquake and volcanoes, what would Aisling have thought of from her past?
Oh, probably on her travels. At the start of her travels, she would have met, she would have met people and towns invaded by brigands. It's probably one of the first things she would have thought of, really, when she was young and vulnerable.
Okay. So a sort of a hero inspired by villainy. I love that. Okay. So as you guys travel to the Clifftop Observatory, I can see Justin's rolled an 8. Would anyone maybe like to give him a hand, or we can have the consequences of an 8? Yep. Okay, so Lenora takes a break from steering zombies sort of one-handedly, points you guys in the right direction. So you guys make your way fairly handily towards the Clifftop Observatory. And I'm going to bring up a new map. Feel free to banter amongst yourselves while I'm doing that.
It occurs to me that given that there's a priestess of a dragon religion on the island, and we got attacked by an undead dragon, We should be asking more questions about this priestess and her relation to this undead dragon that attacked us.
I mean, you guys are at the observatory now. You can go back.
It may have been wise to have done that before we came up here, but seeing as we're here, we should make a note of it definitely for when we get back.
I'm eager to hear about any collaboration she's had with the harpies in the past when we return.
And you
There was
remember
almost certainly
that. Yeah. Lenora would remember that something seemed off when you asked Elder Runara about Mary Sue, the harper that seemed to be sending a bunch of harpers to this island who kept having foul misadventure. But as you guys travel, you approach the Clifftop Observatory by sea. It is easy enough to do so. If you wish to do anything different with the Talisman of Orcus, you let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're going to keep it, Lenora. As you approach by the water,
okay.
you round the southeastern tip of the island. You see crumbling ruins atop basalt columns just off the main island body. It would be an easy walk up to the top of the cliffs, though there is no obvious bridge from the cliff to the ruins. Alternatively, you could tie the boat up at the bottom of the columns and try to climb directly up to the ruins. However, as you approach, you see that there is a shimmering blue field, partially opaque, surrounds the observatory, a sort of a force field, for lack of a better word, that is partially see-through, and it seems to be of the same color as the key that Kurgan has uncovered. And as you consider these options, you hear a screeching roar and notice a winged, glittering blue shape swooping through the air and darting out of sight onto the observatory. You just catch it out of the corner of your eye through the partially opaque force field, and they seem to settle in on the observatory, where you see a number of basalt columns coming out of the water. So you have a cliff that you can pull up to. There are then a number of basalt columns sticking out of the water that are connected by rope bridges and other rudimentary constructions. And there is some sort of force field that covers all those basalt structures, but not the cliff nearby.
It doesn't look like there's a safe place to moor the boat and climb up.
Well, no, it doesn't seem to. How tall are these columns?
Let me tell you.
I mean, I reckon we could maybe throw a rope around or one of these things, and it doesn't seem very secure. Oh no, maybe we just let the boat drift for a bit or something. Or we tie it to the zombies and get them to hold on to the columns.
We could find some place safer to make a landing along the shoreline. Maybe there'll be a beach, and then we can traverse across the land and get over here. That way we don't have to climb up a cliff while potentially being attacked by flying creatures.
But there's no bridge or anything.
What's
It's
the
just
size of the
like-
column?
I'm trying to convert
Sorry,
some
Chris.
feet.
What's the size of the column? If we've got 50 feet of rope, can we not just run the rope around the column to the boat?
Yeah.
Each of the columns
We've
is.
got 50 feet of rope. What's the
I
circumference
can't do the
of
math.
column?
I can't tell you the
D&D
circumference.
math.
The smallest of the basalt columns is at least 30 feet across. So,
What? Pi r squared?
that's good. This is bad because I'm meant to be playing a mathlete character in an upcoming one shot who's fascinated by pi, and I can't do the math in my head. But let's say
How big
with
was it
50 feet
again?
of rope, you would struggle, but you
30.
could maybe lash 2 ropes together and get around one of the
Okay.
smaller columns. However, to get there, you would have to get through this sort of shimmering field, which is extending at least 30 feet out from each of
94
the
feet.
basalt columns. So this whole
Hang on,
area,
friends.
Is it worth doing a perception check to try and see more, find out more about this haze? Like, we'll see.
go for it.
I will and we are checking perception. Oh. I'm not rolling very well today. I've got a 10.
10. Anyone else want to have a crack?
Perception.
I will give it a try.
Okay. With a 16 from Vorgrim and a 12 from Kurgan, you guys see a couple of things. So you think you could probably climb up these cliffs. So each of the basalt columns does have what appear to be handholds. You could climb it. The trouble is, first you sort of have to get through this force field, which you can approach and do whatever you wish. But you reckon if you pulled up and you tied around it, you could probably attempt to climb it. It wouldn't be particularly difficult. It would involve some checks, but you could probably climb up. With that, you can't see too much else. You see to the northeast that there is a column, and there's something large clinging to that column. You can't quite see from that angle. And again, the force field is sort of blurring your vision a bit.
I bet that thing is a monster of some kind. But less interested in that, more interested in getting inside. So I finished up with like a sleight of hand flourish, a little magician's production. I reckon touch to that energy field thing.
You see there is a reaction to the energy field. It sort of warps and bends as you touch it. It doesn't seem to drop entirely, and you can feel the key is almost pulled towards the cliff top. And as you pull the key out, you're able to notice that on the cliff top, there is some sort of bridge structure with a same sort of glow to it, the same color as the key on the cliff to the west there, just at the edge of the force field. So you can't quite push through the force field with the key, but you could go investigate that area to the top of the cliff where there's another glow and the key seems to be drawn to that.
Ooh, okay. Fancy glowy thing on the cliff edge over there. All right. And let's do what Volgrim suggested earlier. Let's go hook ourselves up to some nice little beach somewhere and then trek over to this cliff and see what that little glowy thing is.
Okay. Easy enough. You make your way up to the overlook and you see a broken and overgrown path. And the overlook has 2 marble statues veined with gold, both of a dragon with its mouth open in a silent roar. At the base of each statue, you see an indentation that you think a key could fit in.
Hang on the base of each statue? We only have the one key.
Could the
Go on.
key include both statues?
Maybe. I don't know. I stick
Be able to use the key. Let's try.
I stick the key in and I
Well back before they start fiddling around with this nuclear fail-safe looking device.
yes.
What did you want to do, Vorgrim? Sorry?
He said he
So
wants
you guys
to
are putting the key in one of them?
Yeah, but Vorgrim puts a sensible safe distance between us and the people doing stupid things and sticking things into holes they shouldn't be sticking them into.
Okay,
It's the
left
same
or
people
right
who
statue?
tried to row the boat in circles as well.
These two are more enthusiasm than sense right now.
Left or right statue?
Left.
You insert it into the left statue easily enough, and magical sparks flit to life. And from the dragon's open mouth, a beam of energy shoots out of both statues, and a shimmering bridge extends from the cliff to the basalt column, and sort of pierces through the force field. So it creates a tunnel across to the nearest part of the Clifftop Observatory. And looks sturdy enough, looks solid despite being made of essentially light. You could certainly cross it at your leisure. You're able to see it inserts into 2 other dragon statues at the other end. So 2 other dragon statues with open mouths connect, and there's sort of a connection there.
Well, I can't try it out. I can't not try it out in the other keyhole now, can I? And I take the key out and immediately go to the right-hand one and put it in and turn it.
As you take it out, the bridge collapses temporarily. When you put it in the other statue, the bridge reappears. Same reaction. No particular difference putting it in the other statue.
So it's just
As you
all right. Interesting.
As you are able to pierce the force field, you are able to glimpse that there are some Sturges and Winged Kobolds on the rotunda, which is the central basalt column, and I'm just revealing that for you guys now. And it seems, this is an observatory, and you imagine someone used it to study the stars. There is a ruinous nature to it. Like, no one's been here in a while. This looks old and crumbled. What would you like to do?
So if we leave it here, someone could take it out and shut down that bridge on us, and then we'd be stuck behind a horrible force field.
Problematic. You notice the kobolds are winged kobolds. And you've only encountered one other winged kobold on this island. That was Lila, who was pretty trigger happy with her crossbow.
Do you think we just shout at them and try and get them to talk to us?
Shouting is often effective.
Let me just get ready to negotiate. Fulgrim unsheathes his sword.
Sure. All right. Hey, kobolds!
I make it thunder. I use thunderclap to sit as a sort of nice echoing sound behind that oi kobolds.
You draw their attention. The 8 Sturges snap to you. The 2 winged kobolds certainly have your attention now. And the Sturges are actually going to fly at you. Are you guys remaining on this cliffside, or are you advancing across the bridge?
Defend the cliff side first.
Let's roll initiative. And you guys can add... we should probably add the other 2 to the map. If you guys could also add your character to the map for me, just for simplicity, that would be good.
Maybe they're just guarding the boat at the moment.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for simplicity, all the Sturges are going to go on the same turn. And the winged kobolds will act separately to them. So we'll keep this initiative order for sort of the minor encounters. I will add Vorgrim in. All right, so we have Aisling coming in at 21. Goodness me. Kurgan coming in at 11. Slow for him, but solid. Vorgrim at 19. Clanking up there in chainmail somehow. And Lenora at 8, where you want the cleric. Very good. Okay, so the Sturges are actually up first. They're going to attempt to swarm you. They're going to swim. Oh, how far can they get? 1, 2, 10, 20, 30. They can't quite get there. They're mindless beasts. They are basically mosquito bats. They are going to swarm across the bridge as far as they can, but they can't do anything. Aisling, you're on deck. I'm going to move them all across as close as I can, but they're not going to be able to reach you guys this turn. Tell you what, they're going to dash. No, they can't. All right, so they can't reach you. And behind them, you see the 2 winged kobolds waiting for their turn. They're sort of fluttering. There's 2 of them there. That's it, though. Aisling, you're up. What would you like to do?
I think for Aisling, we just should describe the Sturges. Just as she's not a new player.
I've done a quick Google of them, like sneakily, while we're talking.
That probably tells everything you need to know.
Are they vulnerable to light at all? Because I've noticed got this thing called starry wisp.
I reckon you could have a crack.
Yeah, all right. So I press the hit slash. The
roll to attack. So roll. Actually, Starry Wisp is new. Is that an auto hit, or is that roll to attack? Pull it up.
No, it says it's hit slash DC, and then it's underneath.
Range spell attack. So roll a d20 plus add your wisdom.
You have +3 on your spell attacks.
That's inside. Should I just roll D3? D3.
What are you? No. What are you rolling? What are you trying to roll? Starry Wisp.
Yes.
So from your spells, just click on the +3.
Oh yeah, okay. Is it?
Yeah, that'll hit. So the lead one gets hit. Roll your damage. So that'll be 1d8 radiant damage.
Yep. 8 damage.
Yep. Sturge splatters. Like, you know when you hit a mosquito, boom, and there's like blood splatters across your hand? It's like that. Just splatters the other Sturges. All gone. That one is destroyed.
Hooray!
Right. Volgrim, you're up.
Fulgrim's going to find out if that bridge is solid. Is the bridge physically there?
Do you step onto it?
Does it look like there's a bridge there, rather?
Looks pretty solid. The Sturges are flying, but like it's a bridge that seems magical. Like you imagine it could be solid. You can step onto it. You can Wile E. Coyote this. I mean, it's up to you.
Can I tap the bridge surface with my sword to make sure there's a solid object for me to walk on?
You can. Ding. Nice acoustic sound. Seems solid.
Fulgrim's going to step up and take a swing for the first Sturge.
Yep.
Does he fall into the
Roll
water?
attack.
Oh, no.
No.
Cool.
He sort of pauses Wile E. Coyote style for a moment, but then keeps walking.
I think Volgrim is going to use his once per day human legendary reroll to not roll a 1 on that attack.
That's fine.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes, it absolutely hits the Sturge. Easy enough. You cut this Sturge in half. Again, like, a balloon splatters. It's gone. The other Sturge is looking quite nervous. Anything else you would like to do?
No, I'm satisfied with our progress at this stage.
All right, so that goes to Mech. So Mech, the Winged Kobold, is going to fly up. He's going to eye you guys all off. And going to launch a shot with his crossbow. So you see this is a Winged Kobold, similar to Lila, who you saw previously on the island. And who's closest? Vorgrim's closest. He's going to take a pot shot at Vorgrim. Okay, 17 hit you.
Yes, it does.
You take 5 damage. And you notice that this crossbow is of a very similar make to Lila's. Like it's same sort of heavy crossbow structure, a sort of kobold tinkering to it. And it sort of looks over at his brother and is like, "Who are these idiots? Shall we get boss? Big boss?" All right, it's going to end its turn. So we go to Kurgan. Kurgan, you see 2 Winged Kobolds floating there, looking uncertain. You see Sturges flying across the bridge.
Right. Honestly, I wasn't expecting my turn to come up this quickly. I pop out my collapsible little short bow, quickly get eat, and then pull out my bow, and then I spend. I believe I've got this action now. Spend a quick turn aiming.
Yep.
And give myself advantage on my next attack roll and try and pop one of those Sturges out of the air.
Sure. Lenora, you're on deck.
Well, I'll take that 22 there. And then I'll roll my sneak attack and. Yes. So that is 17 damage on that attack.
Yep, you were popping one of the Sturges. Yep, that's easy enough. The Sturge destroyed. So yep, sort of the 4 remaining Sturges now look nervous, and as you obliterate half of their number, they all sort of scatter. They all sort of lose their nerve, and they fly off, disappearing from the map. So the Sturges are gone. Now you just have the Winged Kobolds. Lenora, what would you like to do? You see 2 Winged Kobolds sort of floating there, like just hanging out. One's got a heavy crossbow.
Lenora's going to shout, "Milo is a much better shot. Maybe you should just let us cross and have a conversation before you waste all your bolts." And then she's just going to hold, she'll hold a guiding bolt for if they shoot again.
Give me a charisma persuasion check with advantage.
Oh yeah, that's her. Yeah, -1 for persuasion. Not sure if that's going to help, but we'll see. So that's an 8. And another 8.
You do notice that the 2 kobolds sort of perk up at the mention of Milo's name. They seem interested, but they're also sort of flitting their eyes back to the northeast basalt pillar, where you can sort of glimpse a vague, monstrous shape in amongst the rocks. You can't quite see what it is, but you see a faint hint of blue, and they're looking nervously back at you, being like, "Oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" And yeah, was there? Well, and you're going to hold your action in case they make any
I
further
will hold
threatening-
if they attack. I'll guiding bolt them.
Okay. So that will be then the other Winged Kobolds' turn. They're going to do. Let's make this interesting. Can someone roll me a flat D20 luck check? Kurgan rolls a 4. Okay. The kobold is going to fly up and have a shot with its crossbow. So it's going to shoot. Vorgrim's just in range. It's the closest, so he's going to have a pot shot there. Yep. So Lenora, yours goes off first as they sort of bring their crossbow up to shoot. 15 does hit. You're going for the one on the top or the bottom. 14. Ooh.
I'm going for the one that's
Okay.
shooting.
Okay.
I would
So Min is hit. Min goes down, and it doesn't seem to get back up. So the top one is down. I'll leave them on the battle map, but Min is down, and his crossbow bolt goes wide, sort of knocked off course by your guiding bolt. Min's body still illuminates the area if you wish. Yeah, so just a mech. Mech sort of looks around and just sort of throws down his crossbow. He's like, what do you guys do? It is Ashling's turn. So you see one Winged Kobold sort of floating there with their hands up. And yeah.
Okay. I see you might be willing to negotiate. We want to explore the observatory. Please let us pass.
Okay, roll me a charisma persuasion check with advantage for using the word please. Because you know you've never been too polite with etiquette.
How do I do that? So I click on charisma. Maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Your charisma should have a button there, like +2 or -1.
Yeah.
Where is persuasion on your list of skills? Just click on the +2 at the end of persuasion.
I'll take the 11, which was the first roll. Easy enough. This kobold is staring down the point of an attack. You flash back to an etiquette guide you read on the boat here, Lady Cordelia's etiquette guide to negotiation. And there's a line in that which says that a marriage contract is best negotiated from a point of strength, and the best point of strength is down the sights of an iron ridge, iron bow, Mark II. And the kobold has sort of surrendered and is saying, looked at you and says, I can help. You know my love? And we're out of initiative. You guys knew what you want.
I think it's time to walk across the bridge and confiscate that crossbow.
Okay, easy enough. You guys can walk across the bridge.
Reasonable.
As you do, you see a couple of things. You see that in this central structure, broken stones line it. There's fragments of elegant statues, once magnificent pillars and shining marble walls. At the center, there is a tall sculpture of rusted planets and gilded stars spinning idly in a sort of a jerky mimicry of celestial motion, almost like a planetarium, but it's not. It's been thrown off kilter at some point. And you see that there's one comet that seems to be looping around the central orb or planet. And it seems to be particularly close to the central planet for some reason. I'm going to show you a bit of what you can see on the other columns. And you guys can talk to the one surviving kobold as you chat. The other one is bleeding out. You can do with that what you wish. But one kobold is very happy to chat to you. And I'm going to reveal part of the map as you guys chat to it.
What's that blue creature over there? Kobold who's not bleeding.
Big boss.
Oh, how big? What kind of boss is Big Boss?
Big boss sparkling. Shoot lightning.
Oh.
Like big kobold. But much bigger.
Oh.
So
you guys happy to
Vorgrim,
move
of
to
all
the-
people, is going to try and heal the kobold who's bleeding out. He will lay on hands for a single hit point, and he will tell him, remember this now. I have spared you. You owe me going forwards.
And you sense Lorne Bane's conflict at your decision of mercy or
The acquisition of a servant.
okay. If you guys are willing to move to the middle of the area, you will see a lot more of what's going on in the northeast there. Are you going to be stealthy as you do so?
And
I will try to be.
incinerated the group.
I'll try to sneak across as best I can, but I'll also create a minor illusion of a copy of me standing very obviously in the open.
Just give me a stealth check, because you now see sort of enemies coming into view. To the northwest, you see a number of kobolds. You can't quite see all of the northwest basalt column, but you see some more kobolds. To the southwest, you don't see anything, just an empty column. To the northeast, you see a number of gathered kobolds. You see winged kobolds. You see non-winged kobolds. And you see a large blue dragon. Chained in front of that blue dragon is a bronze dragon who is heavily injured. Surrounding them are 4 statues of dragons, each glowing with their own twisting, malevolent, chaotic energy, and then occasionally flickering with a healing, restorative energy. And that's what you can see from your current position. You're free to talk to the winged kobold. You're free to approach further. As you get closer, it will be harder to remain hidden.
Looks like we need to get some answers from our new captives. You there. What is that arrangement over there with the statues?
Big boss Sparkrender. He performing ritual. Needs other dragon sacrifice when Big Rock fly past planet. Real close.
Wait,
Is there any way to just put the ritual?
Kobold? I mean, break statue? Free dragon? Alright. Lila was a smart one.
How are they knowing when the big rock is near the planet?
They look up at sky and see rock get closer. And get pretty close. Happen probably tonight. Could be done sooner. Hard to say.
It's like midday at the moment, isn't it?
About midday, yeah.
All right, got a few hours before things kick off for the fun stuff. That weird bobbly, circly, spherical thing there with all the bits and pieces. What's that do exactly?
Was model. Think last person who had studied sky? Last time Big Rock come, Big Bad.
Right.
What's the big bad?
Not sure.
You mean you're not sure? Yeah,
Look, I'm just hired help.
Right. Not very useful, is he?
Hey,
I
Kurgan,
mean-
you've got pretty high passive perception, don't you?
Pretty high. Let me double check it.
I think Lenora does as well.
It's 15, yeah.
You see that the blue dragon is probably a blue dragon wormling, and it's arguing with someone or a group of something off to the northeast corner that you can't quite see. So its back is currently to you, and it's looking to the northeast, and there's a group of people there.
Okay. That dragon's having some kind of argument with someone. Oh, I really want to get close and listen in. Do you guys want to keep pestering this kobold while I do that?
Can you get close enough to put a bolt into the back of that blue wormling?
Well, probably. I don't know if that would kill it. Dragons are pretty tough, you know. But I think I can get closer.
Okay, you can get closer. I will show you some map. Roll me a stealth check, sort of, to see if they catch you, but I'll give you information regardless.
That's a 15.
There's a lot of people over there.
Kurgan,
There's also one very big dragon.
you see... Give me 1 sec. I just need to give my kid a bottle, and we'll tell you what we see. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No worries.
Harpers, I knew it! Harpers!
Yeah, you were right. 100% on the money.
Or went the harpers?
There's Mary Sue right there. I don't know how we know that, but we do.
Because she's got a name to fun. I mean, that's like helpful.
They've all got giant. My name is tags on that I can see from like 30 feet away.
And Six Fingers, the one who betrayed us in the siege.
Indeed.
More importantly, there is one very, very large dragon there.
One into dragon.
That's the one that attacked us in the skyship, right? It's got.
Okay. So, Kurgan sneaks up towards the observatory tower where they see this dragon shackle. You see a figure that stands out to you immediately. You see a man you last saw being dragged off by the guards. A man who pulled your fangs as you were entered into the Thief Guild, the Duskweavers. You see that he now has a jaw full of steel teeth and his own fangs in a mockery. And you know this is the man you've heard of, known only as Steel Smile. You see a number of other characters who would not be known to you. You see a prim and proper dressed woman in the outfit of a harper. You see on her a badge that you found in your journal as you were reading it last night of an inverted harper symbol. Instead of the moon and the harp, it's inverted to form a D with jagged edges. And you know that written on the journal was the name Discord, Diskord. And all the colors of the harpers have been inverted. You see a pirate with a red beard that runs like blood. And finally you see a six-fingered man. And they all sit atop the undead dragon that brought your ship low as you approach this island.
I try my best to listen into what they're saying, even as I'm internally screaming.
Roll me a perception check.
I'm so tuned into this conversation. My mind focuses
Out. Standing.
If only we had some way of taking advantage of all of our enemies being gathered within a 30-foot radius.
Wizards don't get fireball till 5th level.
Or a convenient cone shape, in fact.
3 of the 5 breathe cones, so we just got a free hit and we can get vengeance on all of them.
I mean, I think we need to breed the metallic dragon. That's going to be Renara's sort of dragon, isn't it?
Yes,
Which
almost certainly. The dragon priestess.
Oh, Renara,
don't-
yes.
I don't think you were there when
Yes.
we met her. She worships
but I
this
mean-
weird statue with a guy, an old man of carrying chickens or something. Like, she's just odd. I think it's fair to say, though, we probably can't fight them when Big Dragon is around, right? So we've got to wait for it to leave at the very least.
I think if this thing takes off, it's going to see us. So, do we know?
I'm planning on
Yeah.
commanding my nemesis to come towards me off the dragon.
Do we know what's on the south tower, the one that looks deserted?
No, but I
Because
think there's an
it
active
looks like
bridge
it's
there
one
to
of
look at the
those-
moment.
Yeah, but we need to get the key, wouldn't we? Because it's going to be the same key.
Yeah, and presumably when we turn off the key at the thing, both the
first
bridge
bridge
and the
there.
field are going to close. Yeah. Like I could mage hand across the gap to turn the key and pull it out. But if the field closes and we don't have a physical thing to get through, then we're just going to end up with the key stuck. And I doubt I can actually mage hand it back in.
Should ask the kobolds for the spare key.
I might call it soon, guys, and we'll pick this up next game. I'll give you guys what Kurgan has found with his perception of 24. With a perception of 24, you see that Mary Sue is clearly the dominant figure in the pack standing atop the dragon. While none of them look feeble or infirm, Mary Sue is clearly in a position of hierarchical dominance. and she's conversing with Sparkrender, who is a blue dragon, and there is a bronze dragon on the well, for lack of a better word, sacrificial altar. Sparkrender is in a huff. He's got lightning trickling at the ends of his jaws, and he's sort of arguing back and forth with Mary Sue.
Oh.
As he argues back and forth, you catch certain words, so you're still at a distance. You hear them talking about the discord and the need for forces to accomplish their goal. You hear Mary Sue talking about the discord over and over again. And you hear Sparkrender mention something about his grandfather and completing what was not done 100 years ago on this island.